going to get nerdy with Noctua. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys all their new products and all their new ideas that they're working on here at Computex. And then I'm going to talk to Jacob. We're going to talk about their noise canceling technology, and we're going to see some really weird stuff that these guys are doing behind the scenes. So stick around for that if you guys want to really understand more about what makes these fans so crazy. But first, let's check out all the different products they're showing off here. We've got the NHD15, of course. This is the big guy. It's massive. I mean, we've done some tests with this. The review is going to be coming up in a few days. But my first test, it's almost identical in performance to the Corsair H100i, and it's an air cooling unit. The downside with this one is, if you have, come on over here, if you have, a card that installs in the first slot, or a motherboard that has, a slot that's too close, the fins usually touch. So what they did here, if you can see, they've designed another model, and this one, they've actually shifted things over so that now it's sort of biased towards this side. And the only thing that could be an issue here is if possibly you have a case that's like, the top of the case is right there, but that's kind of ridiculous. So they've done it with the 15 and the 14. As you can see here, we're shifting them over there. Very cool looking. All right, moving right along here. More new products. Cube-based heat pipes. Now, when you've got a heat sink right here, you've got all the fins, of course, and then you've got your heat pipes on the side. And if you add too many heat pipes, they become irrelevant, because the heat pipes over here aren't really doing that much to dissipate the heat. The heat is in the center. That's where all the heat is. That's where you apply your thermal paste. It'll drop right in the dead center. So what they did was they developed these. Now, this has a large block of metal on the bottom, and they go straight up through the fins and dissipate the heat that way. But this is going to be right above your core. I cannot wait to try this out and see just how well it does. But this could be an answer to adding more heat pipes, getting better dissipation, and again, lowering your noise a little bit, because the fans are going to have to work as hard, because those are doing a good job. All right, let's move on over and take a look at some of their 92 millimeter or their 9 centimeter stuff. Got a few cooling units here. There's a dual tower. And this one is nice because take a look at the dual tower. It's really contained right above the V-regs. It's not going to get in the way of anything. Even the RAM right there. See, it's not actually touching the RAM. It's really close to the RAM, but it's not actually touching the RAM. So they really thought about that when they put it together. Now, of course, if you wanted something a little bigger, they do have the single tower cooling unit here. There's that one. There's the dual tower we just looked at. That's got the fan in it. Moving right on down. We have a couple solutions now. What was the model number? The 9, NHL9. L9, yeah. NHL9. We've used that one, and some people complain that if they had a system that didn't have very good airflow, like in the small case, and they used it for a few hours, sometimes it would just get a little bit hot. So what they did was they added some more weight to the fins. It's actually a little bit larger, and this is going to give you a much cooler system. Another option here is one that has 65 millimeter fans, and this is in push-pull. Just another option for maybe some people who have a case and sometimes the side panel goes right on top of the case. Well, this is not going to be affected at all. And I was asking, hey, the 65 millimeter fans, how loud are they? And they were telling me that they're actually slightly quieter than the single, or the 90 centimeter or 92 millimeter, not 90 centimeter. That'd be huge. 92 millimeter fan. Now, a lot of people have been asking for this. AM1 cooling units. AM1 has the worst little cooling units on the planet, so they decided to create something just for AM1. So if this is something that you're interested in, AM1, there you go. There's nice, large heat sink. Something's going on. What the hell's going on over there? Anyway, the thick fan that goes on top there. And of course, you see we have the channels on the inside and the grooves to help reduce the noise. All the fancy things that Noctua is known for. All right. Here it is, 200 millimeters, finally. Of course, we had a few other fan sizes, 80, 90, and then the 200 millimeter fan. Yes, it's going to be the daddy. And these are not the final versions, but wow, they're getting there. Finally, some massive fans. You guys have been saying that you really want some colored Noctua fans. Well, we've got gray, and we now have black with the rubberized corners here that are like a darker brown color. So there you go. You guys can get some different colors finally. All right, it's time to talk to Jacob, and we're going to get nerdy right now. Ready to get nerdy, Jacob, and talk about some of the things you guys are doing for noise cancellation?
Absolutely.
Listen, if you're someone who really doesn't care about nerdy stuff, you can go ahead and leave, but most of you guys should stick around. It's good to understand how things work. And this is also something that I really didn't think was ever going to come to market. Noise cancellation, I saw you guys were working on this, and I was like, that's got to be something they're going to work on, and then it's going to be too expensive, but it actually is here. So What's going on with noise cancellation? How does this work?
Yeah, you probably know active noise cancellation from headphones. You use one sound wave to cancel out another one, and that's what we're doing with fans here. We've got the working demo. The reason why it hasn't been done with fans so far is that the way fans emit noise is just so complex. They put out rotating pressure fields, and if you want to cancel the noise in these rotating pressure fields, you have to make sure that you match the rotational patterns of the fans. Now, the brilliant thing about the roto-sub technology that we're using is that we can actually use the fan blades themselves to create the anti-noise signal. And this way, the anti-noise signal has the same rotational pattern as the original noise of the fan.
You have a fan here we can take a look at? How does this work?
Absolutely.
All right.
As you can see here, we've got the magnet sitting inside the blade tips and a coil inside the fan frame. We've also got the coil here. And when we switch on the coil, we can pull down the blade tips just very slightly.
So the magnets are kind of pulling it down just a little bit to create a vibration.
Exactly.
And like a little wave.
When the coil goes off, they go back up, and if we do this fast, we can move them. And this is how we create the anti-noise signal. And since it's coming from the fan blades themselves, it has the same rotational pattern as I've explained, and we can cancel out frequency spikes, tonal aspects of the original fan noise spectrum.
Now, how quiet does this make it? I mean, is it almost completely silent, or did you just lower it by 10 decibels? What does it do?
Well, it's important to stress what we can and what we cannot do with this technology. We cannot just, at least at this stage, make the fan completely silent. What we can do is watch out for tonal aspects in the original noise profile. This is what you hear and what you perceive as whining noises. This is actually what makes fan noise annoying. And bring these noises down into the overall broadband noise profile. So it's not so much about dropping the overall sound pressure level, it's more about making the fan sound more agreeable to the human ear.
I see you're holding a radiator right now. Is this your radiator? What's going on with the radiator?
Yes, we're targeting both air and water cooling applications. What we plan to have is something like an upgrade kit for all-in-one water coolers out there. You will be able to get the ANC fan as a complete kit with the microphone holder. We've got the microphone sitting on the rear side here.
So you put this on the underside of the camera here. So there's like a microphone here, right? And that's going to give you the signal, and then the fan responds. So I guess your IC interprets all this
exactly.
Inside the fan?
Exactly. We have an IC doing
how advanced is that little IC?
It is quite advanced. I mean,
wild.
It is designed to be self-learning and self-adaptive. So, for example, we have to take care of the fact that there are different radiators out there. So the IC has to take into account how the noise of the fan is affected by the radiator, and adjust the ANC function accordingly.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's designed to be working with just about any all-in-one water cooling radiator out there, so you can just pop it on and significantly boost the performance-to-noise ratio of your all-in-one.
That's one of the main reasons I do not use water cooling myself, is because I don't like the noise that I get.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, even in a very quiet circumstance, it's not going to compare to, like, your cooling units. So this is pretty crazy.
This is entirely new for us at this show, something we've been working on over the last year, flock coating on fans. You may know the material from car interiors. It's used in cars because of its noise absorption and vibration dampening properties, but that's not actually what we're after here, because noise reflection doesn't play a major role in the overall noise emission of fans. The reflection coming from the fan itself is only a minor part of the overall spectrum. What we're after is the aerodynamic effect it creates. We have a turbulent boundary layer being created on the suction side of the fan blades, and turbulent flow attaches to surfaces better than laminar flow would. So we have a better flow attachment and less turbulences coming off from the suction side of the fan blades.
We also have another one here. You've
yeah.
I guess you flocked around the outside.
Exactly. For the frame, the effect is pretty much the same as it is for the inner surface macrostructures we already have, just more effective. We create a boundary layer at the inside of the frame and have the tips of the blades moving within this boundary layer, so we also get less turbulences coming off from the tips of the blades.
Almost absorbing the turbulence?
Yes, you could put it
in
this
a way.
Yeah.
Just less, I guess, less to bounce. Very interesting. All right, do you guys want to see what's on the inside of one of these fans? Can we show them what's on the inside?
Sure, let's hop over there.
All right.
Well, you can see one of our standard motors here, 4-slot design, and one of our 6-slot or 3-phase motors, which we use for our industrial series. The benefit of the 3-phase design is that these slots are being switched on in pairs. So we have 3 pairs and 3 different torque phases overlapping each other, shifted by 120 degrees. So we get much more continuous torque than with the traditional motor, even lower vibrations, even higher running smoothness, and even lower power consumption.
Now let me break it down just for people who have no idea and really actually are curious as to how this works. Now these magnets, they're like electromagnets, and they turn on and off, just like you said in succession. What we didn't mention just now is the inside of the fan has like a magnetic ring.
Yeah.
And that's what drives the fan, and that's why it's so smooth and silent. There's not, there's a bearing in there, but your motor is essentially the electromagnets, right?
Yeah, right. We have the electromagnets in the stator part of the motor and a permanent magnet in the rotor. I can get one. 1 second.
Awesome. And here's the magnet inside the rotor.
Here you can see the permanent magnet ring inside the rotor. This has 2 poles, and in case of the traditional motor, we have two sets of slots, and with the 3-phase we have 3 sets of slots. So this gives us a 4:3 ratio of slots to poles, and this is why we never have an exact alignment of slots and poles. So we never have a situation where the torque completely drops off like with the traditional motor, and this is where the increased running smoothness comes from.
Awesome. So I think we learned a lot, and we got to see all the products, and yeah, it's what Computex is all about, learning. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot, Jacob.
Thank you very much.
Special thanks to Corsair, our sponsor here at Computex. Be sure to check out all of our coverage, including this. This is the Force LX. These SSDs are insanely affordable. They're slightly slower than SandForce-based models and other models, but they are, just a ton of capacity for almost free. So check out our coverage, or else.